Kristian Woodmansee. I train out of Drysdale Jiu-Jitsu, actually under Robert Drysdale and Sonny Nohara here in Las Vegas, Nevada. The brown belt under Robert and Sonny.
Nice. So thanks for calling in. I personally know you. I got the pleasure of meeting you in Miami. Since then, you've done a lot of big things. What would you say is your defining moment so far in the sport of BJJ?
I mean, honestly, I feel like I haven't, really dented or made like any big things yet in my career. I mean, like I've obviously, I've done well in the IBJJF tournaments, but I feel like I'm still kind of like just breaking through. The first major defining moment for me at a personal level would be winning Las Vegas Open, getting my brown from Robert on the podium. I would say career-wise, it was a true eye-opening experience to go like 2-3 months later to New York and then win Nogi Pan Ams at the brown belt level. So that was probably the best thing thus far.
And you just medaled, correct, at the Worlds that just passed by?
Yeah, I lost in the finals, so I lost gold medal and I walked away with a silver, but it obviously wasn't something that I was looking forward to doing. I felt really confidently strong, but that's how it panned out.
Correct. So what, other than winning the Worlds, you're such a fresh brown belt, what are some other goals that you have in your head that you want to accomplish before obtaining the black belt?
I mean, I don't like setting a lot of goals. I just want to like go out there. I want to make sure that every tournament that I compete in, I just do my best. I want to make sure that I obviously always learn from my mistakes from the last one, and I just want to have the best performance every time I'm on the mat. So whether I lose every single match or I win every single tournament, as long as I give my best, I just want to make sure that I'm growing. But I really want to obviously win as much as possible, and I'm pretty sure that Rob will hold me back until I've reached a certain level to be able to get my black anyway. So I'm really looking forward to obviously making him and Sonny proud before I get my black belt.
Really well put and very honest. I was wondering the best advice someone has ever given you.
Man, I've been all over the country and I've trained with some of the best guys in the world. I used to train under Lloyd. I used to train under Cyborg in Miami. I train with Robert Drysdale now. So, I mean, I've heard advice in Portuguese. I've heard advice in English. And, at the end of the day, the most I've ever had the insight of getting from all my instructors was just to be open-minded. Robert's helped me a lot with my mental game. Since I got here, he really shed some light on how I should be feeling when I walk on the mat and what I should be feeling after I walk off the mat. And the best insight that I've gotten from him is just to be open-minded, always be learning, always be humble, don't walk around here thinking like you're the man or that you're going to be able to tap everybody out or anything else like that. And there's obviously another side too with not being negative, not being obviously too hard on yourself to the point to where it causes damage, and just going out and having fun, because that's the most important thing.
If you could give an advice to all the white belts and blue belts that, are thinking of giving up because they're just not progressing the way they want to, throughout your experience, what advice would you give these guys?
For white and blue, I would say, it's always going to be a part of your jiu-jitsu career to go through hills and valleys. There's going to be moments where you're unstoppable, and it doesn't matter how much you train or how many days you take off, you're just sharp and you do really well. And there's going to be days with no matter how hard you try and how much work you put in, you're just going to get smashed. So, if you really want it, the best advice I could give is to just kind of always keep in mind why you're there in the first place, your motivation, and just always walk on the mat and have fun and just try to keep focused on what your goals are. And, obviously, if you're going to give up, you're going to give up. But if you don't want to give up, you just got to use that as fire and keep going.
Have you started teaching now that you're at a higher belt level?
Yeah, well, I used to teach when I originally lived in New Jersey, when I taught in Philadelphia. I taught a little bit when I was in Miami at Fight Sports with Cyborg. And now, actually, since I've been here, Rob's giving me the responsibility to teach. So I teach kids, I teach adults. Sometimes I teach a little bit more than others. It just depends on my schedule. But as of right now, all I'm doing is full-time training and then instructing and teaching my classes that I have every week.
Now, this is my question. Does this make your game sharper after having to explain in great detail each move and position and theory behind it?
Oh, for sure. I've caught myself either in a class or with teammates and like, hey, this is something that you're doing. And I had this kind of like eye-opening experience and realizing that I'm kind of a hypocrite because I can see them do it, but I do it and I don't change it. So it's really eye-opening to see the holes in myself when I look at others' games and able to focus on what I need to change. And I've never had that kind of experience just walking on and off the mat. And it only took place while I'm teaching students or I'm helping my teammates out with something going on. So it's definitely been a huge game changer, and it's been stepping up my game in competition as well.
Now, we were talking about it. I don't know if you heard this, but I was mentioning to my partner here, Jerr, that you are in a category called Brewsterweight. And once you hit black belt, there's guys out there like Brendan Mullins and obviously Kyle Terra. Does this terrify you or excite you to know that once you get black belt, these are some of your opponents?
Oh, I've never been so excited. Each time I go to a tournament, Tournament tournament, I see Kyle Terra, I look at him right in his eyes, and I can't wait to fight him next year. I mean, it's something that's obviously scary, and it'll put me to the test, but I know it'll be a great learning experience, and it'll make me better. But, I mean, I used to be terrified. I mean, like, it would literally make me nauseous, and I'm just thinking, like, I'm competing with some of the best in the world, and I'll have to compete with even more of these high-caliber guys if I want to fight in Abu Dhabi or continue to fight at Worlds against these black belts. So I am looking forward to fighting and experiencing myself while fighting Bruno and Cal and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it, but I'm pretty sure right now I can talk a big game, but when I get on the mat, I'm going to be incredibly nervous and excited at the same time. So it'll be a good experience for sure.
Now, how you mentioned that, and then you might be nervous on the mat, so it's somewhat conflicting. But if anyone doesn't compete in BJJ, they don't understand really what you mean. So, how important is it to kind of have that edge of, such confidence where someone else might think it's almost cocky, but as a competitor, you need to have such a strong belief in yourself that no one else could understand. So, how do you balance that out?
Man, I'm a huge mental fighter. I know that when I fight, that when I step on the mat, usually whenever I lose, I'm really beating myself. I'm just kind of in my own head and I'm making mistakes that I've never made before. I'm not playing my game, and I've talked with a lot of instructors and black belts, and you just kind of you always have to just do you. I train 3 times a day, 6 days a week, and I should be able to always do what I'm always doing, but obviously when you're out there, you're nervous, you make mistakes, you just got to kind of go with the flow. And the more mat experience that I get training at these high levels, it obviously helps, but I mean, for people that don't understand jiu-jitsu, when you go out there, I come off probably cocky or big-headed to a lot of people, but I mean, if you're already going to that fight and you're not confident, you've already lost. So, I mean, to a degree, you have to really be confident in yourself. You have to really be sure of this is my jiu-jitsu, this is what I'm able to do with it, and nobody's able to stop it. I mean, if you're not confident in that, there's no point in really fighting.
What is your favorite belt and why? And also, what's your least favorite?
Man, I hated my blue belt. I got my blue belt in 5.5 months of training. And I was a blue belt for, I think, 9 months. But it was I went through this up and down of thinking I was great and then realizing that I was horrible and then going back and forth. And I used to jump around a lot and wasn't sure what I was going to be able to do. Thus far, I've learned more at the brown belt level than I have at any other belt thus far. And I've only had my brown belt for about 4 or 5 months. And I've learned more jiu-jitsu in 4 or 5 months than I have in the past 4.5 years that I've been training jiu-jitsu. So, the brown belt is the most important thing that I've seen thus far. It's been eye-opening and it's made my jiu-jitsu a lot better.
Now, obviously I know who you are and I know of you, but let's say someone types up your name. I see you have an MMA fight. What made you get into that avenue? Because I personally, I love and hate it. I love seeing some of the best competitors finally do MMA, and then sometimes I hate it because I'm selfish and I want to see them still compete in BJJ. What was your reasoning into getting to the other side of the sport?
I've always wanted to fight MMA, and I've always had, ideas of doing it, but obviously for a long time, UFC didn't have a 125 weight class, and once obviously they debuted the flyweight and it started to get bigger, I've always wanted to fight, but it's not easy. I mean, I'm actually really tiny for Rooster. I don't cut down to Rooster. I walk around like about 3 pounds lighter than Rooster. So, I mean, when I go and I fight MMA or I fight jiu-jitsu, I'm lighter than all these guys, so it's always been hard for me to fight up. My first MMA fight, I fought a guy that was like 138 pounds, and I was probably walking around at like 119, so it wasn't a great experience for my face. But, the more experience that I get with jiu-jitsu, the more confident I feel in the cage. But I mean, jiu-jitsu is my first love. I will never stop doing jiu-jitsu. I'll always be competing in the adult division even when I'm 95 years old. So, jiu-jitsu is my first love. But the sad thing is that these days it's very hard to make a living off of competition jiu-jitsu. So, you got to kind of, at some point in time, try and balance things out. If this is what you want to do for a career, you got to just look other places. So, I've dabbled here and there, and I had some other MMA fights set up, but I just haven't really jumped on them yet. So I'll probably get back to it one time a little bit bigger and stronger, and whenever Rob tells me that I'm ready, and I'll get back into it again.
Nice. And how important is it to have a strong team around you to be successful in either sport?
Oh, man, the team is the most important thing. These guys are like my brothers, and it's probably cliche to say, but I have some really good close guys to me that are I would literally let them babysit my kid if I had one and stuff like that. These guys mean the world to me, and I wouldn't be able to train, I wouldn't be able to learn if it wasn't for these guys. And to have guys that support you, on and off the mat, if you ever needed anything, if you need help with something, they're always there. I have a very big team, obviously, but the cut core guys that are just from Las Vegas, they're diehard brothers. Some of them I hate, and I can get in fights with, during training, and some I don't really talk a lot to, but at the end of the day, we're all brothers, so it helps a lot, especially at tournaments too, when you hear those guys in the stands and they're screaming for you, and you just don't have that last ounce that you need, and it just gives you that morale, and you just turn it up, and then you win something. It's really great to have that.
Nice. Any last words you want to say before we have to let you go, unfortunately?
No, I just appreciate you guys calling me. It's super cool what you guys are doing, and I appreciate it a lot. Whenever you guys need anything else, just let me know, and I hope to train with you guys sometime soon again. I think I might come up to Canada with Rob 1 or 2 times just because I want to see you guys, but you guys are doing some really great stuff, and I really appreciate it. It's really great for the sport,
Unreal. And hopefully that happens so we all get to train together. And actually, one last question before I let you go. Are you a wild boy?
Yes, I am. Thank you for asking me that on the radio. That sounds great. Yes, I am a wild boy. That is correct.
That's how I want to end this interview.
Well, that's a great way to end it. I'm pretty sure that if anybody is actually going to contact me now because of this interview, they're going to ask me a very awkward question because of that.
Well, if they don't listen to MGK, that is their problem, not ours.
All right, great. I appreciate the time, guys, a lot. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Have a good one.